2, 3. We're live, Mr. Wade. I yield, sir.
Welcome, viewers and listeners of our Belizean Affairs show. Welcome again, once more on a blessed Wednesday, 28th May 2025. Um, Glad to have the audience once more as we bring to you, what's really going on in our jewel, and we speak truth to power, and we're about people and nation. And as always, it's always a pleasure to sit in the company of Mr. Leonard Brackett, the one and
Um,
only,
uh,
a true vanguard of Belize, and
Make a turn on me like, make a turn on me lights there, Mr. Wade.
and
Yes, go ahead. Go
a
ahead.
true patriot, a true patriot, never let down. Always trying to empower and you know, calling out the ills in the country. I'm not afraid to stand up for righteousness and for justice. Um, as always, we start our program, with a prayer. And for our viewers and listeners, for tonight's show, we should be joined by Mr. Gregory Morrison. And again, another senior panelist, Mr. Gregory Brackett. He's always, trying to get things together and, queuing up for us. And this is where we show and tell. They can't say that, we pull something out of a back pocket. No, it comes from their very own mouth in real time. And as always, welcome to our 299 edition of our Belizean Affairs show. We have come a long way on different platforms, and now on this Belizean Affairs platform, we are at our 299. And as always, we start our program with a prayer. So, Mr. Leonard Brackett will lead us in a prayer. Then I will do a reading. Go ahead, Leonard.
Okay, and so thank you very much for the privilege to participate with you again tonight, Mr. Chairman. And I'll just go ahead and bow my head and offer the prayer. Divine loving Father, once again we come before thy presence, asking that thou would accept our humble expression of gratitude to you for first of all giving us the privilege of life, and secondly the opportunity to still be alive among our family members, friends, and loved ones, and be able to come and participate on this 299th program. We pray, loving Father, that thou will accept our desires, the most of our hearts, our desires, even our most secret thoughts. We pray that thou mayest continue to bless our family members, friends, and loved ones, wherever they are, to nurse them by name and number. Please let the words of our mouth and the meditation of our heart be acceptable before thee, now and always. We pray that thou mayest bless our country of Belize, its people and leadership, and that thou mayest bless also this country of the United States, its people and leadership, as well as the rest of humanity, especially those people in Gaza and other places where they have wars and slaughtering of people without justification sometimes. Divine loving Father, we pray that thou mayest continue to be merciful upon all of us in this world. We ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Leonard, for that warm prayer. And as
You're welcome,
always,
sir.
the country do need prayers, and prayers do answer, and the world need prayer, more prayer. You know. So on that note, I want to continue with a reading from Ecclesiastes chapter 6, 1 to 10, and it reads. So Ecclesiastes chapter 6, okay. It reads, there is an evil that I have seen under the sun, and it lies heavily on mankind. A man to whom God gives wealth possession, and honor, so that he lacks nothing of all that he desires. Yet God does not give him power to enjoy them, but a stranger enjoys them. This is vanity. It is a grievous evil. If a man fathers 100 children and lives many years, so that the days of his years are many, but his soul is not satisfied with life good things, and he also has no burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. For it comes in vanity and goes in darkness, and in darkness its name is covered. Moreover, it has not seen the sun or known anything, yet it finds rest rather than he. Even though he should have he should live 1,000 years twice over, yet enjoy no good. Do not all go to the one place? All the toil of man is not his mouth, yet his appetite is not satisfied. For what advantage has the wise man over the fool? And what does the poor man have who knows how to conduct himself before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the appetite. This also is vanity and striving after the wind. Whatever has come to be has already been named, and it is known that what man is, and that he is not able to dispute with one stronger than he. And more words and more vanity, and what is the advantage to man? That's my reading from Ecclesiastes 6 1 to 10. Uh, there's a lot going on in our country. You know, it is never, you know, um, a calm day. It is never a day goes by that uh, some evil uh, perpetrate the earth. It's never a dull day that you see injustice. It's never a day that you don't see the abuse of powers by our elected leaders. So I say this to say that you know what what are our leaders supposed to do for a country or for its people? That's a good question. Is it what they are doing right now? Is that what they are supposed to do? And sadly, they do it publicly. They don't care, and they expect that the people that they sit over should be appeased of it. Should it should be okay. You shouldn't say nothing because they are getting rich, and Their families are well off and their friends are well off, and it's a continuous cycle. And they're just used to sit up there and look down on you, despite the mandate you give them. The mandate you give them is to serve you and protect you. But I ask, does that happen? Lately we see the grandstanding now playing out for the past 3 days in our House of Representatives, about the budget. They fussing and making a hell of a loo, just like they did the last time, the last budget reading, and the one before that, and the one before that, and you know, and again, where we at 2025. They go up there and you know they cast blames about the last people who they took over from, and the amount of money they stole and all the bad things they did, and they are no better. So one would think, any fool would think that, the people elect them, to do better. That's why they get rid of the last crooks and bring these crooks in to do better. But what they do the very same thing that the last ones had done to us, and they talk about it, right? They talk, so don't you, don't, I want to ask them, don't they think that people is tired of hearing that repetitious cycle, blaming, in which in fact they should be doing better, set a better example, make their people better, their country better. But what do, they go right in there and enrich themselves constantly. They abuse their office. They abuse our constitution. They give away our natural resources, our patrimony, to suit themselves. Who does that? And they go up in the house and they take out a piece of paper and they read all of it, all of the write down all the good things that they want to do and all the good things that they have done, and that's only in their mind, That's only in their mind, because what they are reading is contrary to what is really going on in the country. Contrary. You see, all of them get there with a piece of paper and they read, my people, they read to you, they read to you, right? What's wrong with these people? And sadly, I yet to see what's in the budget. What's in the budget that will make your life better? Your life, the poor people lives better, right? What's in it is to make them better, make their cronies better, make their own industries that they are a part of better, right? So again, you watch them how they, prostitute our constitution. They keep chipping away on it. You see all the hell of a loo with our constitution. They never abide by the laws, past and present. They have their own laws that they abide on. The only people that should abide by the law is the poor and less fortunate. Those are the only people that should abide by the law. You see the aggrieve of the 10 commissioners, and you see the venom that comes out of Henry Charles Usher's mouth, right? Sit up in the house, a paid representative, an elected representative, paid by the taxpayers. And you see the venom that comes out of it, belittling these 10 people, belittling them that they shouldn't. be doing what they're doing, they should go to jail. They shouldn't be doing that. That wasn't the deal. When they sat down in that little room and we named them by numbers and read them their rights, that wasn't what we told them to do. And that wasn't what they had promised to do. But look what they are doing. They shouldn't do that. Then you have the man, Mr. Chanwana now. He get his package and he run it to the he run whatever he was instructed to run to Briseño, that package, that report. He run that to Briseño. Hold up, sit here, boss man, sit here. This is the end result. Here you are, right? And then he will, he forget what they had talked about and what they were going to put in the report before he took it to Briseño. You forget that. And it's only 3 items, 3 items, right? And those items were very germane and very necessary for the people's health and the people's benefit and the country's benefit. No, they left that out. And that's what these 10 commissioners are aggrieved of, Leonard, right? Nothing else, right? So again, we'll see the end result on that when Johnny Briseño, the Prime Minister of this country, produce it to the nation. Right now, they perusing it and they having a little discussion on it in a little closed door. So that when they break it to the nation, then what we'll say, Leonard, we told you so. That's what we are going to say. We told you so, right? We see the new name now.
I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off for right now, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. I'll turn it over to you right now. We see.
No, yeah, what I was saying, I was going to wait until then. Then I will tell them I told you so. Not now. I don't want to.
Okay. You see, the gun and gang court. The new bill, gun and gang court. No plane landing court, no drug court.
No UNCAF.
No, you haven't heard about UNCAC before when they were opposition. When they were in opposition, Leonard, UNCAC was the forefront. And the price of gas. Man, look what the UDP got on the gas. Look at it. Huh? They punish the poor people. They punish the country. Where are we at now? And UNCAC, as we sit down, we will pass UNCAC. He went into his second turn. You think he want to hear about that? Hell no. Right? So I say the budget is for who? Right? For who the budget is? You figure it out, my people.
Mr. Chairman, they will have to give back some of them thousands of acres of land that I know that they took because I'm the one that took back the computer that had the information on there. So I could go to them to quote whenever they want.
Exactly. Well, the past Prime Minister read out of one man, Johnny Briseño and that Briseño family, the amount of land they have. What he did, he sit with his mouth closed, like a little something in a little corner, like a kid they put in a stool and say, "No, shut up." When he was opposition, and they read out all the lands he have, the Johnny Briseño, the Jaime Briseño, this Briseño, that Briseño, all. So the man said, look like the all progressor he got with
thousands and thousands of acres of lands. No, then they complain about boots to spend. They only buy one piece of land. That is very important, by the way. We don't want to pass, like pretend I could be defending him if he increases either.
And
but
yet,
a few acres of land, no, they want to take that back from him. Yes. To all the thousand, they can give back them thousand.
And yet, he's going to sit on an interview, and when they ask him the question, what is, if people will say that you're profiting yourself, No, I didn't get into to government to profit myself. That's what comes out of that man mouth sitting in an interview.
Scoundrel.
Channel 5, I think. I didn't get into government to profit myself nor my family or to get rich. No, he said he did not do that.
He's no
But
richer
yet,
than he's no richer than his father was.
the past prime minister read him his rights, and that was just some of the lands that he took.
Uh,
Not buy, he took it for to enrich himself and his family, right?
when
Now,
he was minister of lands.
and yet he comes with the venom. That's why always I say that man has two mouth and two tongue. Believe it or not, it's only me feel so. Then you have the unions. My people are running through. I will talk about the unions. Teachers union. Is it the first time that they're gonna get Duke? No, it's
No,
not the first time. And all I say on this little note here, I want them to take heed what he did with the stevedores. Right? And I'm gonna leave that like that. So if you think that you're gonna get what you want, you have another thing coming. So you could go ahead and shove that 3% down on your throat. Do that. And in another 6 months, you will come right back and want to strike again. Industrial strike. See, all I'm saying is that I'm calling out these people, Leonard, for who they are, right? So I urge and I would like the Belizean people to join me, please, to see these people for who they really are and the things that comes out of their mouth. And remember, my people, who are paying these people to do these atrocities on us. Who are paying them
Mr.
to
Chairman,
do?
Greg is in the background already.
Okay, good. You want to
No. I'm just.
okay, okay, yeah.
I could see him. I'm not sure if you can see him.
No, I can't
But I
see
have
him.
access.
I can't see him.
Yeah. But
So
you put on yourself when you're ready, I guess.
yes, so I say this, Leonard, it's so sad to see what's playing out holistically, and it's not the first time, and we see a repetitious cycle, their behavior when it comes to an election time, whether it's a town, town council election, whether it's a village council election, whether it's a general election. And sadly, Leonard, they always throw the election and boundaries under the bus. For the evil things that they do, they blame the election and boundaries. So I ask Mr. Briseño, right now you are in power, who hired these people? Who put them in office? Who controls them? Not me and Leonard. We are not the one that controls them and tell them. We do not play the tune and ask them to dance. No, you are the one that play that damn tune and tell them how and when to dance. Right? So all that stuff, that venom that comes out of your mouth about the election and boundaries, and you know, you are part and parcel of the incompetency and the illegal elections. And you said in the house here, you have filed legal election, fair, free, and legal election and boundaries are done. You control that.
Mr. Chairman, it's the Prime Minister that appoints the chairman of the commission of the Election and Boundaries Commission, as well as two of the other members. He has majority in there, so his will is always done for him by those people.
Exactly. So I will pass it over to you now, Leonard. But then I leave my people with this. We see the actions of our courts. We really now seeing some of us who aren't that stupid. We're seeing how the courts are being twisted by the executive. They play a major role in 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 leading the court to do what they want them to do, right? Not in terms of, exercising the laws and exercising, the will of the Constitution. No, they're all contrary to that. And I want to welcome Mr. Gregory Brackett, our senior panelist. He's always in the back there cleaning up, but I guess he's ready to brace us now. And I want to say it's always a pleasure. I'm Greg to sit in your company, my brother, and thanks, for you to be here. And I know that you have some some stuff lined up for the public to see, as they cannot say, like I say, we haul out where they venom out of our back pocket, because you let them see from their very own mouth. So I want to welcome you, Gregory. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good night to both of you.
Good night,
It's
everybody.
always a pleasure sitting virtually with you guys. And to you, the people at home and abroad, a pleasant night to you also. Thanking you for tuning in to this 299th episode of Belizean Affair. One more to go, gentlemen.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
big, the big 300.
300. Wow. Wow.
I hope I live long enough to
Um,
experience it.
we will be around, Leonard. We'll be around. Thank you, Greg. Anything you want to,
Uh,
before I pass to Leonard? You want to? Then I'll come back
Mr.
to you.
Mr. Chairman, I was sitting in back here
Yes, sir.
and I heard your speech. I heard what you were saying about the budget, what you were saying about the unions, the teachers. I heard what you were saying about our constitution and how the prime minister want to come with a new law. And I want to help you here because I want the public to see
Please,
how these
Gregor.
people
Please.
stand.
Thank you.
Okay? Because time and time over, this is what past and present government do. Now, can you imagine the narrative? The teacher is asking for 8.5%.
Eight,
They
eight or nine,
claim
nine. Is it nine, Greg?
8.5.
Okay, okay.
They claiming they wants to break it down at 3% a year for 2 years and 2.5 on the third year. But let
crazy.
me say this to the public and to the teachers. If you accept 3% with the rate inflation is at right now, it will put you in a higher tax bracket. And instead of you gaining, you will be losing from your current paycheck that you have right now, because the government will be collecting more tax from you, and you will get caught once you sign that deal, and there will be nothing you will be able to do. And also, this smart government, as I said, if you listen to their narrative, is not saying it's 8.5%. They're saying the teacher will get 14%. But what they don't want to tell you is they want to take these teachers' increment that they have already worked for and include it in the package to make it look as though they will be getting 14% instead of 8.5. So that is the narrative
Wow.
they are putting out there to the public, so John public will buy. But look, they are giving you 14% when that is totally untrue. But not from my mouth. Here it
Greg, Greg,
goes.
Greg, Greg, before you go, 10% was taken away from them from the get go. 5 years ago, when the Brazilian government first came into power, all that 5 years, those people have done without their 10% money that was borrowed from them. Because I don't consider that they had the right legal authority to have taken that money without giving it back. So if they give them 10% what I may owe them before, now, and then Guinea, when they say 14, 10 out of 14, one left 14, right? I mean, one left 4.
They can't give
So
them
wait,
14.
wait.
You can't add their increment
Let me.
onto 8.5 and come at 14.
Yes, but you're distracting what I'm trying to pull out. I'm saying they owe these people 10% for 5 years already. If they claim that they are getting 14%, which is more than the 8%, it's a game that they're playing, because they need to get in 10% first and then add whatever they want to add on as a part of this present negotiation. That 10% is already earned. So they have to get them back the 10% to bring them current, and then they have to get in the extra money when they're supposed to get every year for that 5 years, when they get the supplement, the extra money, plus whatever is it that they want to negotiate, want to deal for right now, going forward. So a 3 different pool of money with the talk about right now, okay? So when
let's hear from their own mouth there.
These guys
Greg.
are a bunch of scoundrels.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah. Let's hear what they're going to do to the teacher. Yeah.
Right. People at home and abroad, here we go. Listen to it.
The union's decision. Amid the uncertainty, Minister of Public Service Henry Charles Usher took to the floor of the National Assembly this morning to clarify the government's position. He stated that the proposals include what amounts to a 14% salary adjustment for teachers and public servants.
Salary adjustment. In reference to the salary adjustment, the government is proposing a 3% adjustment in October 2025 and an additional increment at the start of fiscal year 2026-2027 to make up for the frozen increment in 2021. In addition, the remaining 5.5% and a second frozen increment will be adjusted within a maximum 3-year period. Mr. Speaker, each increment represents 2.5 to 3% of an adjustment. So the actual figure is not 8.5%, but over 3 years it will be closer to 14.5% in this 3-year period.
The pressure is mounting for...
No, Mr. Chairman and people. This man think people don't go to school. This government think people are not educated. Because if I was representing the union, the teachers, the first thing I would tell them, there will be no negotiation until I get back my full increment. Then we can start to negotiate the 8.5%. But here we have them trying to include that. They don't want to give it up. They're trying to include that. But gentlemen, let's go to the tape.
Hi members, I'm here again. What happened is that I accidentally deleted the live, and I know that those who did not get the opportunity to tune in will definitely want to know the results. As you're aware, government offered us a 3% salary adjustment commencing 1st of October 2025. The BNTU membership rejected that offer. 1,532 members voted no, while 438 members voted yes to the 3% salary adjustment proposal. That is clearly stating that the majority is saying no to the 3% salary adjustment being proposed by government. As it pertains to the reinstatement of the frozen increment, the BNTU strongly believes, as well as other unions, that you have worked for that. That was taken away from you during the COVID era. Government used it as some kind of fiscal incentive or ways of fiscal measures, I should say, ways of savings, and trying to ensure that they can afford to pay for whatever expenses they had during that time. But the reinstatement simply means that you deserve nothing but what is rightfully yours. Let me repeat that. The reinstatement of your frozen increments for April 1st, 2026 is yours. That's not something for us to be negotiating over. When we go in, what we need to discuss with them is when the second frozen increment will be given to you. That's all I need for you to know at this time. Now, a lot of you have been in my inbox over a 14.5 that was said in the house today. As I said earlier, it's not everything that they throw your way you respond to. But I have to respond to the 14.5. They are including in that the increments that you're supposed to receive, as well as the deferred increments that they're giving us back on the 1st of April. That's what they're looking at, and they are bringing it up to that. For us as a union, we don't see it that way. We don't see it that way simply because, and I'm telling you this, we don't see it that way because you have worked for that. You have worked for that. You have worked for that. And not every single member will get an increment. You have to earn that. There's a criteria that you have to follow. So throwing that out there, I call it propaganda. I call that gimmick. There are all these things that politicians will do just to mislead the people. But don't be misled, my BNTU members. Don't be misled. And don't get worked up over every single thing that you hear. Listen to your union. Listen directly to your union. For me, it has been a long day. You notice I've been stuttering and all of that. But I just wanted to get the election results and for you to know that I'm very tired. I'm not feeling well. And I'm heading off to bed. And if I'm still not well tomorrow, I got to ensure that I see a doctor. So with that, I say good night. God bless. Solidarity forever. Peace out.
So there you have it.
Mr. Chairman?
Okay, you want to say something there on that, Leonard? Go ahead. Get to the floor, Leonard. Go ahead.
Thank you. In the first instance, as I had mentioned earlier, we're talking about 3 different pools of resources or money. Okay? When the PUP government came in 20, they took away 10% of the money from these civil servants, and they needed to give them back that money. Punto y final, as far as that one category of money is concerned. The other 2 category of money is, had they not taken away that 10% from them people, from then till now, they would have still deserved to have gotten their annual increments. Those who deserve it or who have earned it, like the union president stipulated just now. In addition to that, going forward, they should be negotiating, what the teachers was asking for as the forward movement salaries, adjustments of salaries. The government is pretending that they don't want to adjust what was taken before. They don't want to adjust what they haven't given them in terms of an increment before. They just want to adjust from now going forward. Those people didn't work any less hours in the past in order to say, well, they'll get less salary so they'll work less hours. That would have been another equitable way of resolving it. They still have to work the same hours that they had been doing long before the PUP came into office then. So, as of right now, the negotiation that they're having is not no negotiation about what happened in the past. What happened in the past is a record established, and the government needs to address it. What's going to happen in the future as regards to the 3% this time and another 3% whenever, to start with, they're not getting no 3% right now as we're talking, or today. Then they propose to do that in October. Many more months from now when the people still go through more hardship between now and then. There's no intent and goodwill on behalf of the government to do what's right on behalf of these people. Like you said, Mr. Wade, Mr. Chairman, then they go on and behave the same way that they went on and behave with the stevedores and any other Belizeans. That's how these Belizean leaders relate to our Belizean people. They jack them, shaft them, and kick them in the head, then turn around and make laws to try to use the powers of the state to oppress and suppress the people. They don't want them people go up on no strike. That's the reason why they call it SOE. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay. Greg, you want to go ahead? Go ahead, Greg.
Greg?
Go ahead, Greg.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I can add to that, my good cousin. we shouldn't be where we are today,
Exactly.
because past December, it was the deputy prime minister who got up in the House and guaranteed by the 28th of December, the teachers will get paid all their increment for the holiday. He also guaranteed, when he was taking the lead of the opposition at that time, Mr. Barrow, for a clown, that the teachers would not strike against the present government.
Because they are
So
the
how
teachers
come
lack.
we are where we are today?
Because they are a bunch of bamboozlers and scoundrels.
So they have no intention to do it like you said, and they keep kicking the ball down the court. Now here you have them want to take the same money these people had already worked for, and they want to now move it forward and give them over a period of 3 years starting 2026. Now imagine, this is what we're dealing with. I go back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Leonard. You want to say? Go ahead, Leonard.
Scoundrels, scoundrels, scoundrels. Yield back, Mr. Chairman.
You know,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will continue, Mr. Chairman, since you're busy.
yes,
But
go ahead.
the people at home and abroad, any economist will tell you that all countries are run by its taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have past and present government giving away incentives, tax break, duty break to foreign investors, giving away free duty, they pay no duty, importers pay no duty, the
No stamp
tariff
duties
has
on
gone up,
transactions.
the tariff has gone up, and we the people will have to pay the price on that, not the importers. When you do this, this is what will happen to your country. But I don't want to let you, the people at home and abroad, think it is just me saying that, because it goes beyond that. Let's hear some of the lavish package like they have been doing.
We have seen the particulars of the contracts and calculated the annual charges. But while the Belize Airports Authority will cover the first year of charges for those security services, which is $1.2 million, after that, it will be passed on to passengers.
What I do know from the meetings that I went to the BAA before, talking conceptually about the whole issue of security services, the BAA had said that they could absorb the cost for 1 year, but after that they would have to levy a fee for security services.
After year 2, right through to year 10, the cost for these contracts will be $2.8 million annually.
So it signals a potential increase in air travel costs domestically.
Definitely, yeah.
Garcia said she went to meetings and had conceptual discussions. She was, after all, as CEO of Civil Aviation, a member of the board. Meanwhile, her daughter, Thea Garcia, was the general manager, a politically appointed post. Another key part of the northern political machine, Ian Cal, got one of those contracts awarded by the board. The contracts were signed by Chairman Ricardo Martin. But despite being on the board and certainly knowing Cal well, Garcia told us on May 5th that she didn't know who got the contract.
Are you able to say who got the contract for securing the various airfields and aerodromes throughout the country? We know that it went live very suddenly and told that a preferred person had received it. Are you able to say who has that contract?
No, I am not. Belize Airports Authority is the entity that gave that a contract. At the time, the chairman was the one that executed that contract, and we just appointed a new board, and we will have a meeting on Tuesday, and we will find out the thing.
But you, CEO, you're the CEO of all matters. You can know that. You're the CEO of Civil Aviation.
Yes.
She called me later that evening to tell me who did receive the contract, saying that during the press conference, she only had knowledge of the name of one of the recipients, but not both of them. And that's when we first heard the names iSecurity and 4Diamonds. Their contracts were signed in December 2024. The BAA says it was in recognition of security risks first observed for the industry in 2023. But in April of 2025, 4 months after the signings, when Howell Grange went airborne with 15 souls on board, there was no security, just the wit, the courage, and the bravery of the pilot and 2 passengers. Today, 6 weeks later, 2 of them, Grange and Fitzgerald Brown, are still going through physical therapy and are a long way from being okay or back to work. And one wonders if securing the aerodromes had really been the priority of the Belize Airports Authority when these contracts were signed. Maybe life for these men would not have been unalterably changed on April 17th.
The election financing was the focus.
There you go, Mr.
That was brought to the Prime Minister's house on Christmas Day. Okay? He himself acknowledged it after the fact. He was able to boast about it. But in his own words. So now he can't go back and say, well, we the impugner, we the liable, or we the mischaracterizer. His own words. He came and told us on the airwaves what he had done that was so dastardly. He boasted about it. Why? There's no consequence. And the people love it like that. And the people went back and gave him another 5 terms. Are you back, Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Thank you for see. We try to remind the people, remind the nation and the world who these leaders are. As to that lady, Nadia Garcia, man, when will it stop?
She was the chairman of the board.
When will it stop? Leonard, Greg, past and present government, we see how they operate.
Mr. Chairman, anywhere pass some money to rattle, that name will show up.
Yes. You see how, guys, right? My people at home and abroad, we see that, everything that has to do with our livelihood, with our security, everything that has to do with our well-being, we see how these people bastardize it, right? And they don't do the right thing. And they, in the UDP, when they're in power, the same thing. All these high power, high office, high entity situation, high security measures, and who they give it to? To their friends, to their cronies, the one who support them, not the one who knows how to actually do that job. Hell no. Never that happen. And what they do, they come to the nation and they come to the world and say, there was a tender. If you listen to the man Julius Spot, he always say, oh yeah, this tender went out, and I just call that name because he always talk about transparency. That's a transparency man. How things are done. Move from this table to that table and the other table and the other table till the right man get it. Right? So, the question was asked, do you know, Mr. Briseno, do you know Ian Carl? Who does not know that family? I'm a Belmo Panis. I know that family from back in the 90s. Heavily political motivated insider. I don't want to say much more on that. But I could do the research of who these people are. And now, they are the very same people that in. Again, they get in. And they will say, the tender was put out and we narrow it down and the team, the board says, this is the person that is most suitable for the job.
Mr. Chairman?
Now, when will that stop, man? Greg, and then when will that stop? Go ahead, Leonard. Pass it over to you.
The contracts were...
Wow.
The contracts was tendered for less than a week before it was actually signed and delivered. And the payment started. Because they start getting paid at the time the contract was issued, which was supposed to have been late December. So from late December till now, well, I wouldn't say now, but I mean a few days before now, right? When they weren't on the job yet, they had been collecting for all those months without being on the job and without performing. But they were collecting every month $40,000 and I think $100,000 the other one. How many months between December and now? At least 4 to 5 months, right? So where all the money gone to then? And what service did that money get paid for? That wasn't rendered. And why was the money paid out of the consolidated funds? For a non-performing contract at the time, until recently. That's all I'm asking. Where the money there? And why did the money have to be bought? Why? Because there was a 13th of March election to which money was being pulled around from all sources to buy the election. And most people don't realize that will take place. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Well said. Something is
welcome,
on there.
Yeah,
something is, I have a feedback there. Something is on there.
Not me. It's not from my side.
Yes, and Greg, thanks for showing and telling, my brother. You see that board there? Who is the chairman of that board? Who runs the airport now? Who has that portfolio? Johnny Briseño. How's that purple? He took that over. He in the control. And you see who he bring in with her? Nadia Garcia. That's a right-hand kick hand lady.
And you see who he put in charge of the ministry, the particular ministry that runs that department. Right? Before Nada's daughter got elected, she was the one that was up there in that place helping to run the affair on the board. Because Nada could only attend so many board meetings in addition to all the other things that we have to do for the Prime Minister in the Ministry of Finance and all the other ministries where the Prime Minister took over under his wing, such as immigration and others. So all those things had to be taken care of. And that's the reason why the money for the $7 million piece of land of Belmopan got dealt with for the Northern Caucus. I talk politics now, okay? Because only some people understand what I say. When I say where I say the way I'm going to say it, they don't make the connection. But the people who run the Northern Caucus are the people who do the big hustle for them that kind of money. Part of that money they get kicked back to them same people there. And all of it is being engineered from within the Ministry of Finance. And most of those ideas and things are taken to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister goes ahead and bless it. I don't understand what kind of leverage they have over the Prime Minister. Like even when they first got elected and people got the idea that lady was going to be involved in the Prime Minister's CEO group. People, very few people when just elected, they get vexed. And the Prime Minister came out and said, no, he has not made a decision yet on his CEOs, and Narda was not one of them. To his own top supporters then, he was lying then. But who ended up becoming his CEO? The same person. And that CEO person is the CEO above all the other CEO. In other words, all the other CEO have to depend on the Ministry of Finance and have to control her to get to the Prime Minister.
Thank you.
Politics.
So Greg, thank you. I just want to pass it out to you right now, Greg. You see all that you showed to the public there, Greg, and you're talking about taxpayers' money, money, not only $1,000 or only, you see the millions of dollars. Well, they just gave it away. Give it away without no recompense and without no accountability. And here you have the teachers and the strike. Right? Here you have how they intend to get a little bit of something over the next few years. When these crooks, these hyenas, these vultures get that money, Greg, and right off the bat without busting a sweat.
Up front, contracts to get paid for.
And you guys get up there and clap for this man. Clap for the PUP, que viva PUP, que viva UDP. So sad, but I like, pass it out, I like, Greg, that what you said before, right? And you played it, you see what the BNTU chair lady came and said, right? Same thing that you said, right? So let's see if they hold their ground. Let's see. Back to you, Greg.
Mr. Chairman. That is because, Mr. Chairman, I was a senior accountant and I studied finance. So I know when people is fooling around with others people's money. I know when a government is shifting around money. But based on what you said, and I have stated it earlier, the country cannot run when it is not collecting its taxes from foreign investors. You will have this problem. You're not collecting duty from imports. You're giving away concession. So how can you have money? All you are doing is digging yourself in a larger deficit. So you are not cutting down really on your deficit, because you are not taking in any taxes. And tourism alone, which is the bread and butter of this country, cannot do it. But not coming from my mouth, Mr. Chairman, and people at home and abroad, this is why they can't pay the retirees and the teachers.
The Key Chapel Company says it is spearheading a $200 million investment project on the island and that they're bringing a 4 seasons resort to Belize. And government has rewarded them with a lavish package of fiscal incentives contained in this statutory instrument number 57 of 2025. Project completion was set for 2025. And here's what the team told us in 2023.
And for the second part of 2025, we will open the hotel. Okay, so next 24 months will be of heavy construction, but we will open the hotel before the end of 2025.
But that looks like it may be another blown deadline for a project that has had many in its lifetime. This fiscal incentive package, now made into law, lasts for 5 years, and it exempts them from import duty, revenue replacement duty, excise duty, the payment of business tax, and unusually, even general sales tax. So that means they will only pay 3% environmental tax on what is listed as a $654 million Belize dollar investment. That means with this package of incentives, government is passing up possibly hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. And even on the 3% environmental tax it is collecting, no freight will be factored into those tax calculations, which makes that collection about 20% less. These tax breaks are likely not going to escape the attention of the unions, who are fighting against the narrative that their pay raise will cost taxpayers tens of millions of dollars.
Modern slavery.
And Mr. Chairman, you know what is so cool?
Economic
I will say this because my good cousin always speak about it. The Portico deal. How can we forget that? You see what happened to the Senate inquiry. They didn't even get to finish it, Mr. Chairman. And we have been asking and asking why.
What about the
You
Belize
had
court?
heard the denial. They have denied and denied, and the Prime Minister had said they're wasting their time. They're just wasting their time because they are not involved. We still have not heard from the inquiry, and we will not who tabled the bill to the House. But I can guarantee you I know who did. But I will pass it back to you, and we will get back to that a bit later. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
These are the kind of you know I and you know the thing is that these people are still going around normal like nothing happened, like they have done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. It's all good. And before I pass it to Leonard, I think it's only me thinking that way. I don't know the smartest person. I don't want dunce. All that money that the Belizean people should have been collecting, it will be collected,
Some of it.
but it will not go to the Belizean taxpayers. It will go to a chosen few. The deal makers, the deal breakers, and the deal makers. Those are the people, Mr. Leonard and Gregory, and my people.
They call it the
These guys here.
Mr. Chairman,
These guys here.
They call it the residuals.
And you see how they stand up in the house and they read out for you, oh yeah, and who are the people? These are the best people. And look, these are the best budget and the best and have money. Oh, no worry because everybody will be happy. Go ahead, Leonard.
I want to go back to the residuals, Mr. Chairman.
Man.
Because a lot of people don't realize that that's what these jackals are working for. They're not working for no paycheck that they're getting out of the Belize Treasury or no benefits that they're getting out of the Belize Treasury in terms of vehicles and fuel books and repairs and those are incidentals to the residuals that these guys are actually working for. As you said, that money is not collected for it to go into the treasury or into the consolidated funds where it belongs, and half of which the government and people of Belize supposed to be able to finance the existence of the government.
But don't forget, Leonard, they already put that narrative out there that no money will be collected. These people are getting a free pass. They already put that already out there. Remember
because remember there are laws against self-enrichment, okay, when you're in government. So they don't want to follow those laws. But as soon as they retire, they go back and the connections are there and the money is in the bank already. These guys aren't stupid. And they're not going to leave that money in those people's business. They collect that money on a regular basis and put it into their own ventures or own accounts abroad. They will not be the first and only people that have done that throughout the history of the world. That's an ongoing process. Wherever there's a government, it's an ongoing process. Somebody got their finger in the tail. That's, the bottom line though is that these guys are not conscientious enough to say, okay, well, get when I can, while and do some good for the rest of the people. We trust them and give them the opportunity to make them could get what they can.
Exactly.
They don't have no morals. They don't have no scruples. They're not willing to share or allow other people to participate. It's all about themselves now, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and the rest of the future. And if they could go back retroactively, like they make laws to go back, like right now they talk about make one law if you go back so that they don't have to pay, them people when they commit criminal activities against, right? They want to make one law to say, well, they exempt themselves, and the law will say, well, this law is retroactive. Therefore,
2018.
All the illegal things that we did would be legalized now, retroactively as well. And the idiots, they don't realize that there should be no court in this world that should entertain any such behavior, because no court in their right senses accept retroactive laws as being binding. But these guys have the idea that they could do whatever they want to do. And by them doing it, it becomes legal. If it's illegal and unconstitutional, it's illegal and unconstitutional. I don't understand why is it that they can't get that. But the issue is that they suffer no consequences to those malignant behavior. Okay? That's the problem. So where is Cock?
I was just gonna I was just gonna come there. Greg, back to you. What you think? What would come across your mind to hold these? How can we hold these people accountable? And well, I take that back because we just mentioned the word unkak, right? So
yes, I hear you say that, Mr. Chairman. But first, let me go to the tape before I answer it.
Uncertainty in the law cannot persist uncorrected for such a long period. And so, Madam Speaker, this is why I'm here this morning introducing this bill, this Belize Constitution, the 13th Amendment Bill 2025, because legislative intervention is necessary. This bill has 7 clauses. These proposed amendments to the Belize Constitution to make new provisions include 1. A new Section 18A, empowering the Governor General on the advice of the National Security Council to make an order on reasonable grounds and in the interest of public safety, public order, and for the purpose of preventing, detecting, and controlling crime, that a designated area is a special area and limit the rights of citizens within this area for a specific period. So now, there will be a constitutional requirement that before the Governor General acts, this is done on the advice of the multi-sectoral body, which includes the heads of our law enforcement apparatus personnel, the Commissioner of Police, the General from the BDF, and also the Commandant from the BDF, and also the Coast Guard. Members of Cabinet, myself as included as Prime Minister, the Minister of Defense, Home Affairs, Foreign Affairs, and the Attorney General. And the advice must be based on reasonable grounds. This is the same threshold that courts look to in order to be satisfied that an SOE was justified.
Mr. Chairman, I will answer that for you. First of all, the government cannot amend the Constitution informally. You cannot input a Section 18A when you already have a Section 18 for natural disasters, war, and for catastrophic disease like COVID. It will be null and void and inconsistent with the Constitution. Now, secondly, if you amend Section 18A for what the Prime Minister wants to do, he is violating the fundamental rights of people under Section 6 of the Equal Protection Clause, because you cannot call out certain people, the National Security Council, the Coast Guard, the BDF. All of these people will decide if there should be a state of emergency for what he's trying to do. That is not what the Belize Constitution says. But I will say this. The government must remember that the fundamental rights of every one of us Belizean, Section 3 through 19, with Section 20 for judicial review, is protected by the Referendum Act. And the Referendum Act specifies that if the government intends to violate any of the fundamental rights of the citizen, he must have a referendum. So I don't know where he's trying to go with that. And my cousin can look up the Referendum Act right now and read it.
I have something else that I want to do right now.
You know, so that is something that is a no-go. Because if you can go back to what I said about the basic structure, you cannot violate Section 13A of the Constitution, which gives you the right to freedom of expression, the freedom of association, to form, to join in a political party, and to assembly wherever you want to assembly. For him to enact and amend and place a Section 18A, it will be inconsistent with Section 13A. And my cousin can read that too. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Leonard.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Greg. These guys, okay, the first thing that the Prime Minister is attempting to do, why he's calling out all those other entities that he mentioned about, is that he's trying to do what you'd call a power grab. 2 words, power grab. But the people doesn't know the Constitution, and whatever he's putting out there to them, the way he's putting it out there to them, leaves them with the impression that he has such authority vested in him that he is attempting to exercise far and beyond his constitutional office, to start with. But let me read what I have here as a response to what he was talking on the floor of the House, okay? Let me put it in the context of the Constitution.
Go ahead, Leonard.
The following commentary was made by Leonard Brackett regarding Honorable Prime Minister Mr. John Briceño's House speech on bogus illegal change to Belize Constitution on the 26th of May of 2025. And I titled the commentary, Belize Constitution Violation / Bastardization, bogus illegal changes, open bracket, committing state crime to fight petty crime in the black communities. Because that's basically what the gentleman is trying to do. He wants to classify certain communities, which they have been doing over and over and over under the SOE, and we lash their ass so much to the point where they recognize that they were committing a crime and that people were paying attention and was putting them or embarrassing them in public. So now they want to change the name. They went to the Governor General and get her to assent to an SOE. Then they reclassify the ascension that she did without her change of signature or permission, or without notifying her, and then classify it under a new name where he said he wanted to come up with a new name for it. He should have taken the new name to the Governor General and have the Governor General assent correctly based on the new name, which doesn't exist in our Constitution, by the way, which is not why now he's running backwards to try and catch up to make these laws to so-called, according to him and his colleagues, legalize their criminal conduct or their bastardization of the Constitution. That can't happen. Well, at least I shouldn't say it can't happen, because I know that these jackals that we are dealing with will make it happen, and they will pretend like it's legal and correct. But the problem is, it is not. The fact that they have authority and are flaunting the authority that they have to pretend that they can trump the Constitution willy-nilly.
Mr. Brackett, he is trying to do, sir, the same thing the past Prime Minister did in 2008, 2011 with the BTL case when Kante backs him down on it.
Yes, but the problem I'm saying is that we don't have leadership in our country as our Prime Minister and other ministers who are acting in good faith towards the Belizean people and are actually, let me say it like this. To me, how I would classify these people's behavior towards the people who elect them is that they're acting evil, okay? But I just want to finish reading a little piece, I think, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, go ahead. Because, in the sense of time,
I need to make it connect, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the title of the stuff. And I said that he was actually committing state crime because he's using the powers of the state, right? He called them all out, BDF, Coast Guard, police, this, you know, and the authorities vested in him as Prime Minister, as well as the Governor General, and all of them put together doesn't equal the Constitution. If they get together, I've been saying that for decades, well, not decades, but I mean for many years now. If they get together, all 100% of the legislative body, and make an unconstitutional law that the Constitution called void and illegal, it is still void and illegal, and it is still unconstitutional. And like I said, I will hang the Constitution around the neck, then I could find a way to get the other one. So let me read this stuff. PM John Briceño, I went on to say, you are a bamboozler extraordinaire and an autocratic scofflaw, sir. I put in bracket, go read and learn Belize Constitution Part 1, Section 1 and 2, Subsection 1, and Part 2, Section 3 to 19, inclusive, as well as Section 20 for judicial review and Section 95 for powers of the Supreme Court. Because the Prime Minister doesn't have those powers over the Supreme Court that he's trying to exercise. Which, as my cousin said earlier, Mr. Barrow, the previous Prime Minister, was also trying to exercise. They're in violation of the separation of powers, because in the government you have three separate branches of government that are equal in power, and each of them have their own jurisdiction. The legislature could legislate anything they want, but they don't have the right and the power to authorize to them under the Constitution for them to decide what is right and what is wrong, or what is legal or illegal, or what is constitutional or not. That's the purview and the prerogative of the Supreme Court. And above the Supreme Court, the appellate court, as well as the regional jurisdictional court. But these jackals, they're playing fast and loose because they know they have the purse of the government in their hand, and most Belizeans won't be able to take them to court and then go to the regional courts and I'll go through the process to force them to comply. So they make these bastardized illegal laws, and as the Constitution says, anything that is inconsistent with the Constitution is void, but they make them anyhow, because nobody is going to take them to court and get it struck down. And besides that, at the Supreme Court level right now, as we have seen recently, most of the judges, the justices then, have bastardized their position and the Constitution. They have ruled against the Constitution. They have ruled in favor of the government to facilitate the government. And they are derogating their own constitutional responsibility and oaths that they swear in order to be Supreme Court judge and be an equal checkmate against any excess of powers by the government.
If I may,
you don't you finish your letter?
I'll leave the rest for Friday.
Go ahead. Greg, go ahead.
If I may add to that, Mr. Chairman, my good cousin, as we always say on this show, they always tell on themselves.
Exactly.
Why would you want to go make an informal amendment against our Constitution and call these names? The BDF, we not at war. The Coast Guard, we not at war. You don't have to do a state of emergency then. Why don't you put them in the street? You can put them in the street, then you won't have to make no state of emergency. So why don't you do that? Aren't these
That is
men getting paid?
Greg,
They
that
are
is part
getting
of the
paid.
plan. That is part of the plan. That's why
No,
you're
I
there.
will tell you what the plan is.
Wait. Let me
Hold
finish.
on, Leonard. Let Greg finish up. Yeah.
Yes, but
Let Greg finish up. Then you go ahead, Greg.
okay, but okay, I'll get a chance
Let
to
Greg
rebut the
finish up.
plan
Yeah.
My
and
good
explain what I was saying
cousin,
about the plan.
the plan is trying out the Belizean people heading to republic. We are talking about no separation of powers. Executive powers is a dictatorship ruling when the prime minister is controlling the three section of government. That's what he is doing. And he is doing it slowly the same way how he made the common assault law for certain people and added themselves elected official. So he is singled out certain people that he wants on his side to hold this power. What the military do if there's a civil war?
Uh,
What the
can I
Coast Guard do?
go back to my point?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
sir.
Let Greg finish up.
Go
Leonard.
ahead.
Let
Let
him.
me hear his point.
We're running
Oh,
out of
okay.
time. We're running out of time. Um, I stipulated earlier. This gentleman intends to get rid of our constitution, create something that is more pliable, that serves their ultimate objective or interest, which is to take Belize into a authoritarian, dictator type republic, the Republic of Belize. All these things that he's doing is just part of his machinations to let the Belize people get pulled into this process little by little. It's not like one day he's going to jump out of the woods and say, okay, well, this constitutes now a dictatorship because I'm in command. No. Little by little, he's suborning and bastardizing our laws to get to the point where those laws will support his objectives. He's trying to get us sensitized to the point where the military is going to be in our streets under these bogus SOEs, clamp down on who he wants, clamp down when he's ready. And a lot of people will be agreeing with him because they're tired of a lot of mayhem and killing. But all the killing and the mayhem is not going on in these black communities. But they are the one being targeted. What about all the mayhem and killing and other criminal activities going on in other parts of the country? From the time they've been making these SOEs, it's specifically only one section of the society they're making it for. Even though it's illegal, they have been doing that and getting away with it and causing a lot of mayhem to people in those communities, to the point where a lot of them people end up with police records that did not deserve to be having no police records in the first place, much less the brutalization that they suffer. And some people are saying, okay, well, what he should be doing is act like Bukele. Well, if they who are telling or saying that in the social media about having this man act like a Bukele, why don't he and then Hal and Bot go to Salvador go live, since they enjoy and appreciate Bukele's management? Because Bukele is a dictatorial republic. Belize is a democratic state. And the maximum law in the country is not ruled by one man. It is the constitution of the country. That's the supreme law of our land. And like I said in this article, which I didn't finish reading, even Mr. Bishenyu is not above the law, much as anybody else. We are all equal under the law. And the fact that he's given the privilege to serve as a prime minister doesn't mean that he has any superpower to the point of derogating anybody else's rights, contrary to the constitutional prescripts.
That
He swore an oath,
that is
and he needs to
correct, my
abide by it.
cousin. That is correct, Mr. Chairman. But
Go
I
ahead,
said
Greg.
earlier, we were talking about the legislation that was tabled in the House for Portico. And we were talking about the oversight committee that couldn't get it in. No, they turn around and take the chair lady that served in the House and put her in the House now. But remember when people were asking, when we was asking, the prime minister was saying they don't know who did it, they don't know who tabled it, they were denying it, and I said I will show to the people exactly how it was done. Here we go, Mr. Chairman, because they always tell on themselves.
Well, the protocol legislation, well, presently I think they're still working on it and to see what can be done to be able to present to cabinet.
What's being done is this draft, still in the...
I stopped the tape, Mr. Chairman. The protocol legislation, they are working on it. So we don't have to ask who took it to the house. We know who took it to the house.
Mr. Chairman, in addition to that as well, the protocol legislation is still being worked on, like they said, but protocol has not moved on as they wanted to originally. They're behind schedule, and the Prime Minister is now talking about the port that we took back from Mr. Ashcroft. He wants now to bring in some other foreigners to help him work on it and manage it and control it. So in other words, the money will never come to the Belize treasury or to we the Belizean people who are supposed to own it. He's always favoring foreign interests. That's suborn his butt. But you know why we tell him that? But that's the way they show away and they tell away over and over and over in his own words. He said he was going to ask, I think about MST, Mediterranean, the big company that does the transshipment of those the containers them and the big container company.
Right. I know what you're talking about, but I don't
He told us
remember
that in
the
his own
name.
words. He told us that in his own words. So now when we put the pieces together and present it back to him, he wants to feel offended. We shouldn't be able to decipher what he's doing. We shouldn't be able to use his own words for him to speak and say what he's doing, and we shouldn't be able to understand the impact. Such as, for example, if he ever take that company and bring that company in to help repair for we port and give that company concessions, the end result, they won't end up the own for we port. Once you get into business with those big corporations,
Mr.
they
Brackett,
always end up controlling your system or your process.
Mr. Brackett,
Thank you.
I wrote today to a friend of mine who asked me a question about the present government. And I said to the person to read the history of the PUP government. Whenever they get into power, they privatize.
Always.
And if you look at what is happening, you see where the bus company is going right now. So I'm not wrong saying what I'm saying because that is what is happening. But with the time left, Mr. Chairman, we want to go to you and you can do your closing, sir.
Thank you. Guys, there's a lot more that is going on that we would like to, portray to the Belizean people. We would like to bring it back and show it, right, guys? But the essence of time, we would like to show.
Only 90 minutes.
I say this to say that one thing, Leonard and Greg, that would keep these guys, in check and keep them worried is UNCAC. Right? And what they're doing with UNCAC. See? So that's the only thing, in my humble opinion, that would keep them in check. And on that last issue there with the he gonna this body, who control this body? Who control the police? Who control the BDF? Who appoint these leaders? Who appoint them?
The Belizean Bukele.
Who appoint them? So, in essence, all these entities that he called will have to answer to him because he appoints them. So what the hell this man is talking about? Like they're going to make such a big difference, Greg and Leonard. Oh yeah, the CBDF is going to be there. The commander of the Coast Guard and the commander, I mean the police commissioner and the police minister. I mean, come on,
Mr. Chairman,
and himself.
Mr. Chairman, the man give us our marching orders already. He don't tell me we not got no talents. So why don't leave him alone?
So he uttered this venom to the world and to the people that you know, everything will be all right because look at the people who making this decision and saying what. Be very careful, Mr.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, that is a front like what happened with the PCC Commission.
Rightfully says.
So make no mistake, that is a front.
Exactly.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I have one little nugget.
Go ahead, Leonard. Go ahead.
Little nugget to offer our Prime Minister. Because he not the one of the position himself in this situation. And I really don't believe that the gentleman understand that his seditious activities and intents, the Governor General can't really help him with. I don't think the man understand that. I think he believes that the Governor General is in his pocket and the Governor General can do whatever he wants her to do to serve his ultimate objective. When the Governor General doesn't serve at his pleasure, but at the pleasure of the head of state. I don't understand how these knucklehead fools they can. They like to power play, right? That's the word, power play.
So, you know, like I say, you know, time, you know, and so little time and so many things that we want to put out there.
I might yet end up the drop on dime on there.
So, is there any we want to say you know, read anyone Greg, you see any one that you
Eric Castillo.
Oh, my brother Eric, yeah. What did Eric say there? Greg, read it out.
And Miss Lynn Hemsan, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and we surely appreciate your comment, as you always do. We appreciate you tuning into our show. And I want to say this to the public at home and abroad. Most of what we say, some of it is based on our personal belief, but majority of it is tapes that are used from these people that we take part and time to show and tell that they are the ones who are saying this thing. And we want to always bring it back to you for clarity so you can see that it is not us on this platform that is coming from our mouth.
At the end of the day,
I would like to say,
Mr. Chairman,
I would like to say thank.
Mr. Chairman, one more word, please, to interrupt you. At the end of the day, this show that we put on here is all about defending our Constitution, because if we defend the Constitution, we will have no need to have to fight with these guys, because these guys can't get over with Constitution the way it's structured right now. So we will hang this Constitution around the neck until it could find another way to deal with it.
Thank you. And I want to thank each and every one that you know, view us and will watch us later. And thanks for those who text in. Thank you, my brother Eric and Lynn. Thank you guys very much. You're a faithful supporter. Thank you very much, and thanks for sharing, you know, with your public. And I'd like to say this, that, you know, on June 1st, that'll be my birthday, and I want to ask the Belizean people to support your independent village councils. Please support them for change. I would like that for my birthday gift on June 1st. Please give your independent slates in the villages your support. And on that note, you know, always a pleasure, Greg, to sit in your company, my brother, to compound our show, because you show and tell. And thank you, Leonard. It's always a pleasure to sit in your company. right?
Pleasure is
And
mine too, sir.
may the good Lord continue to guide and protect us, so that give us the fortitude to be able to sit here and bring to the Belizean people, in real time what is really going on in our country, and we are not afraid to do so, and we
Amen.
always call a spade a spade. I want to thank you guys, and looking forward for on the Friday night where Leonard will, continue his. What you say, Leonard? You'll hang the Constitution around your neck, so you'll continue. You have it over the head right now. You bring it down. All right. So
I want to tighten the noose. I want
Greg,
volunteer.
again, thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman,
you, my brother.
I want to volunteer to be one of the one who pull the rope.
With that said,
I don't care whether that big truly happen or that Central Park.
with that said, I would like to say good night to the people at home and abroad, and thanks again for tuning in.
We want everybody. We want everybody. Give me some of your everybody. Give me some of that cassava. We want everybody. We want everybody. Give me some of your everybody.